Who can find such a man? Well, I can. Some call him Daniel, most call him Dr. Black, some call him Professor Black. I simply call him Father, Mentor, Father. If you're asking, is there a word from the Lord? I can assure you that there is indeed a word that will help and transform your life. After the sermonic selection, please stand and open both your hearts and minds to receive Dr. Daniel Omatosho Black. Ashe. Ashe.
I said, wow, what would I say? You know, this is the life of Dr. Lawrence Carter and Martin Luther King, and I said, you know, I'm going to pee on it. And what is it that I can offer? But as God is God, if you know God the way I know God, God gave me something to say. And I want to share with you just a little scripture first, and this is going to be a bit unorthodox. because I'm a writer by trade. I'm one who believes in the magical power of words. I'm one who believes that words carry energy, and words carry power, and words carry life. And when they got to this verse in Habakkuk, which says, write the vision, make it plain, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Write the vision. Write the vision. And so I said, God, what is it you want me to tell the people? And God said, tell them why you write. You are right. Tell them why you write. And so I'm going to take the risk and do exactly that. I write because I believe I was ugly. And then I wrote myself into beauty. I write because I was ashamed of what I was. And then God told me I was him. And that he was me. And that shame had no place in the heart of a spiritual man. And in exchange for this, I promised God to tell the truth. The real truth. The whole truth. The naked, glorious truth. That we are all free to love whomever we find lovable. That God is not concerned with flesh and blood, but with spiritual ecstasy shared between living beings. And so with pen and paper, I set about the business of setting the world aright. I write the black and the ugly one day. That children of every hue dance together in the invisible wind until their color vanishes. I write because we rape. I write because we hurt. I write because some pain can't be described. It can only be felt. The marrow of a story, say, about an effeminate black boy who wanted to be a man but couldn't figure out how. Or a girl who longed for beauty but was given brilliance instead. I write that they might not give up the battle. That they might in fact know that the failure is in other people's eyes, not their being. It is in other people's judgmental hearts, not their difference. See, if someone must die, let it not be the brother who sees the world for what it is and spends his life loving the way he imagines Jesus would have. If someone must die, let it not be the sister who loves everyone, for she alone knows the journey of self-discovery and how to get us home. She knows the edge of the world, the scent of loneliness, the feeling of being called names so disgusting, so vile, so putrid, that even the angels shudder and flee. Yes, if someone must die, let it not be the choir boy who all his life has wanted only to love a perfect God. I write that they might live too. I write because James Baldwin wrote, but he didn't finish his story. And so I've come to finish it. I write that our stories might be holy and sacred, read by those standing at the cliff, weeping, begging God to forgive them for being themselves, as God screams only, hell is for those who don't know who they are. Yes, I write to offer words to heal what mothers and fathers could not. I write to love the rejected, to give sight to the willingly blind, to make room for those whom the world has dismissed. Day and night I write because precious blood is being spilt by those who find no God within themselves. In every character, in every plot, in every description, in every image, I seek only to create a world full of gods. Black gods, Indian gods, white gods, ant gods, leopard gods, tree gods, gay gods, ocean gods, grass gods, elephant gods, holy gods, all of them, who share powers and kingdoms too secure for laws and limitations. This is why I write. I write because troubled youth might not decide to jump if we just love them a little harder. I write that troubled youth might decide not to jump, but to lead into self-worth and to dance their way into self-celebration. I write that elders might know their lives have not been in vain. I write to tell gay brothers that they're straight too. I write to shed light on the power of love and to convince every heart of its right to have it. Yes, every heart, every single heart, every single solitary heart, every single solitary wounded heart. This is why I write. I write to remind the lost that the way home is through forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness. That wilderness of chaos and pain, bruises and careless apologies. That realization that no one can keep your happiness unless you surrender it. I write to give readers strength to take their happiness back, to tell from becoming weak and to tell the weak that they are strong. I write to sing praises of those who died for those who wouldn't. I write to pay homage to those who said, yes, I'm different, and so what? Long before being different was in vogue. I write to say thank you to men who love and honor women, to bow down before women who love and honor men, to applaud the few who love and raise children they did not birth. This is why I write. This is why I write. This is why I write. Because we've not seen the fullness of love yet, y'all. We've not set it free in our hearts to dance, to sing a lullaby of healing, to walk slowly among our pain until every hurt is a distant memory or a flower in bloom. We've not taken the risk to strip ourselves naked, bare, exposed before others' eyes and stand in full confidence of what they behold. We're not sure we're God yet, and so I keep writing. We're not yet convinced that we're holy. We've not yet decided that in our best we're always enough. Always. And so I write. I'm going to write until the wind tells me to stop. I'm going to write. I'm going to write. I'm going to write until the ocean's tide moans our freedom. I'm going to write until trees begin to walk among us and tell ancient stories of bygone days and people unremembered. If I must relinquish my hand, I shall use the great earth upon which we stand and scratch into the dust the sentiments of liberty. And on their travels, wanderers will see the words laid upon the ground, and they will know that their Redeemer lives, simply because I write. There are stories that must be told, y'all. Stories no one wants to hear, but everyone needs to heed. Stories that dismantle cathedral walls and set the captives free. Stories that make room for transgendered angels and bisexual prophets. Stories of the people who threw away, the people we threw away who later saved us. Stories of those who came from negative circumstances, yet smiled at the world every day. Stories of broken hearts, broken promises, broken dreams, broken people, broken families, broken souls. Stories of triumph and achievement against all odds. I have to write. I have no choice. I have to write because America lies. It says black men don't love black men, and black children are inherently inferior. It says black women are fussy, nagging, bitchy, needy, shallow, and mouthy. It lies. America lies, y'all. It needs the lies in order to believe in itself. It needs the lies in order to justify its position as the best country on earth. And that too is a lie. But it would be true if America ever acknowledged that the black rejected children built the place. But that, my friend, is a little too much truth. And we all know what America does with truth. And so until America begins to love it, I'll write. I write for the man so unattractive he never considers love. The woman burdened with blemishes and weight too massive to hide. I write for their hearts. Yes, their hearts. Their precious tender hearts. Each word is an invitation for them to believe a new thing, a different thing, a marvelous, transformative thing that will allow them to remove the mask and exist unashamed. I write because we still say good hair and boast of the minuscule strain of Indian blood and African veins. I write for those who had children because they thought they should and ended up forsaking their roles as Christ. I write because we're still talking about Jesus as if there hasn't been another, and worse still, we keep praising God for having done what we wouldn't think of doing. So yes, I write. I write because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Indeed, it has come and gone so many, many, many times, yet we keep looking for God while we're looking at God. So I write that we might one day acquire eyes to see and ears to hear and voices to speak, and perhaps then God won't need to be invisible, because God will then reveal God's self to a seeing, all-seeing eye. I write for all those black men behind prison walls who were handed lives far too raggedy to win. Through words, I send them birds whose flight might remind them that the state can house their bodies but never their spirits. I write to tell them that every great man was in fact once found, either by the state or himself, Christ, King, Gandhi, for fear of what they knew, what they wouldn't do, what they might sacrifice for the world to be free. I write because my grandfather couldn't. I write because my grandmother could but didn't have the time. I write because my brothers can but won't. I write because my sisters can but don't. So ignorance lives in mansions fair on every corner of our streets and buys real estate in our minds. But still I write. I have to write, y'all. There are more children coming, more ideas to birth, more words with which to tell more stories. My hope is built on nothing less than a word. It lifts bowed down heads and moves cancer to far corners of the world. It reconstructs history and gives credit to those who truly paid. It instructs the confused. It explains to the curious. It reprimands the trifling. It justifies to the criminal. The word is life. In the beginning was the word, and the word was God. In the beginning was the word, and the word was God. In the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word was with God, and the same was with God. The same was God. In the beginning was the word, in the beginning was the word. It is the blood in the imagination. It is food to the starving soul. It is the molecular structure of transformers. This alone is why I make us know that rain is a heavenly libation that begs us to reconsider what we thought we knew and to have compassion for those who can't seem to get it together. It is as majestic as the sunrise. I write for the thin, the husky, the dark, the lovely, the paraplegic, and the athletic. And through words, I plead with us to believe that love dwells in strange, awkward places and to gather the gall to go find it. There is no other reason to live. This is why I write. With every book, I make love to spirits everywhere, joining in literary ecstasy with those who know the power of a whispered word. I write that everyone can be cuddled and caressed, kissed, and intercourse without begging for another's unwilling flesh. I write in order to hold the hand of the diseased and the dying, the lonely and the suicidal. This is my calling. I have to write, y'all. I have no choice. I have no choice. Write the vision. Write the vision. Make it plain. This is why I write. It is my duty. It's the price I pay for the breath I breathe. With every stroke of the pen, a soul resurrects and trades mortality for immortality, and life becomes bearable again, even for the scorned and the abused. With every page completed, tears fall somewhere in the world in celebration of healing someone assumed would never come. But it came. Oh, it came. And it came in the midst of a book, powerful enough to speak with 1,000 tongues for 1,000 generations of silent, hurting souls. It came like a mist, soft and unsuspected, but steady enough eventually to flood the world. This is why I write. This is why I write. This is why I write. I want us to live, and not just live, but thrive when it doesn't seem possible, when we've lost every ounce of our faith, when the world agrees that it doesn't need us. I want us to know that we will live. I write that we might sing songs of play, songs of struggle, songs of heartache, songs like our grandmother bellowed. I need thee, oh, I need thee. That's why I write. This is why I write. Because every book, every song is a melody. Every paragraph a melody. Every sentence a chorus of angels, reminding us to let everything that has breath speak loud. Let everything have breath. Praise the Lord. Say it loud. That's why I write. Shout it from the mountaintop. Oh, let me know, my Savior. Declare it in the valley. Say it loud. Don't ever stop saying it. Oh, God. I write because some of us thought we were going to die, but we're not going to die. Oh, no, we're going to live because we shall be God. 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 We were sent to be God. And I'm going to let the wind carry the message until the world knows the fear. That fear must die. Yes, fear has died. And guilt ain't far behind. And that as long as we live in wolves, we too shall live and inherit everlasting life. This is why I write, y'all. This is why I write. We made someone else into God. This is why I write. We've abandoned our dreams because they seem outlandish. They seem crazy. And that's why God gave them to you. Because they were supposed to seem outlandish. You can't get a dream from a God and it be regular. We let daddy's failures and mama's shortcomings define who and what we are. They were nothing but hills and mountains. We have to climb in order to learn how to climb. For y'all, heaven is a high place. Heaven is a high place. Reserved for those who know how to climb mountains. I write to tell us that struggle is a gift. Keep the body and the mind ready for battle. Failure is a celebration of what you've done and still need to do again. Heartbreak is a reminder not to let immature, raggedy, selfish people dwell in your life. This is why I write. This is why I write. Write the vision. Write the vision. Make it plain. This is why I write. I have to write. I have no other choice. I have to write to get us back to being God's again. I got to write. I got to write. It's all I got to do. I got to write.
We invite you to join the Martin Luther King Jr. International Chapel Assistants every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. for services in King Chapel. Gather with us on Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. for Theological Table Talk in the Lucian Tobin Library. Till we gather again, God be with you.